It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Anyway, of course, we're here to talk about the thing that everyone is talking about. Usually on this show, I try to not talk about the thing that everyone is talking about because I like to try to mix it up and do different kind of news that is not, everyone's commenting on. But of course, the thing we have to talk about is the Kanye West Tim Pool fiasco. This was so hot. This was such hot news. Like I knew last night's show was going to be big, but I just didn't realize. So of course, it all started out with a picture. I think Tim shared this picture, or we saw this picture on social media. So I'm like, "Ooh, what is this? Is obviously who here can afford a private jet? This is Kanye's private jet. This is Milo Yiannopoulos, who is, I guess, going to be running Kanye's presidential campaign. He was gay, now he's not gay. Then he was selling Catholic figurines on TV, and now he's doing this. So really, he is a jack of all trades, and he's no longer like a bottle blonde. He's doing his natural hair color. I did try to have Milo twice on this show. Rented out a studio for him, got his favorite wine, and he blew me off twice. Just a little background there. It's all right. I'm used to getting big timed. And this here is Nick Fuentes wearing, I guess, sort of a nursing home style sock, all the way pulled up, white shoes. Still exciting though. I've never been in a private plane, so this photo was posted, but I just didn't think that they all were coming to do Tim's show, and sure enough, they all show up. I think now, did you guys watch the whole thing? Because I'm not pretending I don't know who these people are. I've never for a second pretended. Of course I know who all these people are. Don't come at me, Simon, 7 minutes into the show with sass. Unbelievable, you guys. Did you guys watch the show? I believe because, my show ends right at 8. So we were across the street at the bar. I had it pulled up. The chat was flying. I think the highest viewership I saw for Timcast last night was something around 95K. Did anyone see anything higher than that? There were 95,000 people watching his show last night, which is a huge accomplishment. It's a huge accomplishment to get, I think, probably any of those guys on the show. But he had Milo on the other night, so maybe that's when the seed was planted for all this. I think Kanye made it about 20 minutes before walking off, and I can pull up the the kind of moment where he walked off. Okay, this is from Viva Fry. If Kanye West thinks they were exploiting him, just wait until he realizes about the two he's hanging with. Kanye is indeed being exploited from every angle, and most importantly, by present company. Tim Cass, you did good. He was looking to make a scene, and as was his entourage. So I think this is the moment that led up to his walking off.
What the thing is, when I said my children, the reason why my brain kind of blocked, because it's like God is saying, your children are going to be okay.
Do you guys think that Kanye was nervous for this at all? I don't think he does podcasts like ever. I just wonder if he was. I don't know. I haven't listened to him talk all that much other than like snippets here and there, which is why having a couple hours of him talking would have been really great and something so many of us would have loved to hear. But again, you can't, you can't control people.
Baby mama's got money, right? God
That's
is using
Kim.
me. He's breaking me down, removing all of the, richest person, all of this, so I can serve him. And the more and more those things are taken away from me, the more I can be empty and be a vessel and be able to be used. And right now, it's like, you're not going to take.
That's what I'm going to start saying. I'm not broke. I'm just a vessel. Anytime like shit doesn't go well for me, or I lose a bunch of money, or I fail, I'm just like, oh no, I'm just becoming a vessel. No, I'm not shitting on this. Like, this is definitely a Christian principle that you want to remove money, riches, distractions. So I do believe what he's saying here.
If we can't, you're not going to take my pain away, right? The Jewish people say it's the Holocaust, this happened, and you can't say anything about it. We can't take their pain away. No one's going to denounce the fact that they tried to lock me up. That's what, because every time I'm just holding stride, and it's like, I thought I was more Malcolm X, but I find out I'm more MLK, because as I'm getting hosed down every day by the press and financially, I'm just standing there. And when I found out that they tried to put me in jail, it was like a dog was biting my arm. And
I think they tried to put him in jail for saying he was like bipolar or something like that. And I've been hearing now they're trying to put on, oh, Kanye was porn addicted, like anything to ruin this guy's character.
I almost shed a tear, almost, but I still walked in stride through it. Yeah,
I think they've been extremely unfair to you.
Who was they though? We can't say who they is.
Oh, this was the moment. I think they've been extremely unfair to you. Right. On one hand, it seems like Kanye is really looking for Tim to agree with him on the Jews and the press are the same thing. So if that was going to be his chief goal, then there was never going to be a 2-hour conversation to be had from him.
The press. I'm not using I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking.
It is them though, isn't it? I mean, because
no.
because when you think about,
well, I'm not like, I don't know that much about Nick. Why would you show up to do Tim's show in a sweatshirt? Like not even a nice zip hoodie. Like this is like a gym class issue sweatshirt. I just, oh well.
About it, consider it. In 2018.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about, are you leaving?
And that was it.
Are you referring to the press?
He's gone. I'll say it right now. You guys, you guys,
part of him was like, please come back.
want to bring that stuff up, and then
have
think
the
we're not going to have a conversation.
Like have the discussion.
Like you think he's going to come in here and say, "Here's my pain, here's my suffering." I'm going to say, "I hear you," and then he's going to say, "And it was Jewish people," and I'm going to be like, "Okay, but don't you consider?" It's like, I'm not going to do this. I refuse.
Go, make sure he's cool.
All right, go for it. Luke and I will have a conversation. So I can't say I'm surprised.
So both guys need to leave and see if he's okay. Yeah, that to me says like they're very much more concerned about like being with Kanye or being his assistants or whatever than they are with speaking with Tim and being on the show. That's what both of them leaving in that moment tells me.
What do I even do? Other than ask him, please elaborate on this. Are you referring to individuals? Or are you quite literally blaming an entire group of people for the fact that powerful individuals are causing you harm?
Okay, so that's that. Damn. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that Tim barely pushed back. That's the thing. If Kanye was looking for everybody on that show to be a yes person, which does happen with celebrities, they end up consciously or not surrounding themselves with yes people. Same thing with just like, I mean, every rich boss I've had surrounds themselves with rich people, and when you come with the slightest criticism, like it's like what? It's like a foreign language to them. So there's no way that Tim was going to like yes Kanye's every point. Tim is not an interview style person. It's like, it's the Timcast. It's Tim's show. You're going on to talk. He's not going to be like, and some people are going, oh, you should have been like, oh, so just let Kanye talk. But that's not really his style. Let's see what the New York Post has to say. Kanye West storms at a Tim Pool interview after pushback to his anti-Semitic claims. So that's how they're headlining this. Disgraced hip-hop star Kanye West stormed off the set of an interview with podcaster Tim Pool on Monday after the host pushed back against, and barely pushed back, like barely, to come in here. I feel like it's a setup to be like defending. I'm literally going to walk the F off the show. If I'm sitting up here having to, talk about, you can't say it was Jewish people that did it, West said moments before taking his headset off and stomping. Did he stomp out at the studio where he was in the middle of a live interview on the Timcast IRL podcast? I just think like, You have 95,000 people listening to you. What do you want to say? Is what they talked about really the most important thing? I just think it's such a wasted opportunity for him. Like at a time where so many people are turning their backs on Kanye and he's got to sort of like recalibrate. And of course, like with anybody famous, you're going to have people snapping at you that want to just be around you because you're famous and they want that fame. They want to feel important themselves. I just think for Kanye, like you have 95,000 people watching. What do you want them to take away? And what they took away was him like walking off over something like kind of small. I think there was way if he felt passionately about this, there's ways to talk about this that are not like, you have to agree with me, Tim, on this one point. Like debate or explain yourself. Like explain your life. Like what has led you up to this point of why you feel this way. West, 45, who claims he's running for president in 2024, lost several lucrative business relationships and was removed from the Forbes billionaires. Oh, no, not the Forbes billionaires list after he began railing against Jewish people in October with a series of remarks. Former President Donald Trump was swept up in the rapper's anti Semitic storm last week when he hosted West and white supremacist Nick Fuentes for dinner. Do you guys really think Nick Fuentes is a white supremacist? I know people keep calling him that. For dinner at his Mar-a-Lago estate, Fuentes and far-right provocateur Milo Yiannopoulos were also being interviewed by Pool on Monday and left when West stormed off about 20 minutes into the podcast. Yeah, I was talking to Frank this morning. He said, I think Milo Yiannopoulos is going to be like the next generation Roger Stone. I was like, oh, that's a good point. Just a provocateur and politically involved. And a snazzy dresser. Okay. That's a picture. That's him leaving. Before walking out of the interview, West revealed that the dinner with Trump, 76, had been scheduled for October but pushed back to last week. West also said it was Yiannopoulos who suggested that Fuentes be brought along to the dinner at the former president's residence and resort. I would have never wanted to do anything that hurt Trump, West told Poole during his brief time on the show, adding that he believes former Vice President Mike Pence sold Trump out. Why wear sunglasses inside? I don't understand why people do this. I'm on Trump's side. Trump said things that hurt me. He lied about me, but I mean, he's known for lying, West said. I went into the trenches for Trump. There is no one in my position that wore that hat, the former entertainment and business mogul added, referencing the 45th president's iconic red Make America Great Again hat. Several high profile Republicans have denounced Trump in the wake of his scandalous dinner with this guy, with Hoodie Man. Senator Mitt Romney on Monday compared Trump to a gargoyle that could scare voters away from the Republican Party, and he called the dinner Trump hosted a disgusting affair. There is no bottom to the degree to which he's willing to degrade himself and the country for that matter, Romney, the 2012 Republican presidential nominee, told NBC reporter Sahil Kapoor. Having dinner with those people was disgusting. Trump's former vice president on Monday called for the ex-commander-in-chief to apologize for hosting West Fuentes and Yiannopoulos. President Trump was wrong to give a white nationalist, an anti-Semite, and a Holocaust denier. A white nationalist, an anti-Semite, and a Holocaust denier walk into a bar. Pence said on News Nation, I think he should apologize for it and he should denounce those individuals and their hateful rhetoric without question. I just don't like saying, oh, these people have hateful rhetoric. Like, if you're going to say this, you need to specifically quote what you think this person has said that's hateful. Because it's just so easy to, like, group someone in there. Like, people have said that I have said hateful rhetoric. Like, okay, be specific. Pence, however, stopped short of calling Trump a racist or anti-Semite. With that being said, I don't believe Trump is an anti-Semite. I don't believe he's a racist or a bigot, Pence added. People often forget that the president's daughter converted to Judaism. No, I never forget about this. You know why? They can't stop reminding us. Oh, he did a reaction video, huh? I haven't seen this yet. Have you seen Tim's reaction video to everything? I wonder if this was that night you know, because he does like a member stream after.
Maybe you've heard the news. Last night, we hosted Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, Milo Yiannopoulos, and Nick Fuentes on Timcast IRL. And Ye got up and stormed out about 27 minutes into the show. And there's a lot that people don't understand about it, despite the fact that we did talk
He sounds like he's coming down with a cold.
a lot about it after he stormed off and we carried on with the hour and a half show. We were planning on doing a members only uncensored segment. And I think this was staged. Maybe by Ye, but I don't know. I think Milo is a very, very smart guy. I said before, I think he's a genius because I'm looking at what's going on. And I either have to assume that Milo is orchestrating some powerful vengeance
on Trump,
or he slipped on a banana peel, did a perfect backflip, and then said, ta-da. But I'll explain in great detail. The big news right now that's been going on for the past week is this. From Mediaite. This is a effing nightmare. Trump world leaking amid nuclear meltdown over Trump's dinner with white supremacists.
Maybe. Right, because we all know this is what celebrities do. When news comes out that they don't like, they don't refute the news. They just create more news, and then it pushes it down the search pages. So I wonder if he's going to say that like Milo is orchestrating this so that the news is then it's Kanye walking off Tim's show over anti-Semitic comments. That way they keep it on the anti-Semitic thing and not the dinner with Nick and Milo. I guess it's the Nick part of this that's really making it messy because people have known that Kanye and Trump have met and photographed together. So I guess the very sticky part of this is the Nick part. So if we can keep the news focused on the walk-off and less over the Nick part, then that is a strategic, like public relations move.
Supremacist Fuentes. Big news. Dominating the front page on numerous outlets. Senators across the board denouncing Donald Trump. And I couldn't help but think Milo sort of organized that. I say sort of because Ye corrected me on the dinner invite. But the question is Milo getting revenge on Trump the way he said he wanted to a long time ago? Pink News reported December 14th, 2020.
Oh, wow.
Milo Yiannopoulos vows to burn the Republican Party to the ground after losing everything for Daddy Trump. Now, I'll get into this in great detail, but I first want to talk about what happened last night for those that may not have seen the greater detail or context. I'm being hit up by people saying, I just saw the clip of him storming out. What happened? Let me tell you what happened. Before the show, I had discussed with Milo, Nick, and Ye why we wanted them there.
Okay.
I, of course, find their statements ridiculous on Jewish people because, and they can't seem to understand, maybe whatever. I said, guys, I don't want to sit here and just have this debate over again. I understand, Ye's talked with Friedman. People in the media have pointed it out. We know, okay? The issue is Donald Trump invited Ye.
Milo would rather get revenge on Trump and let the establishment win than allow this country to be saved if he does still feel that way. Ugh, if that's the case, that's really icky.
And Fuentes to dinner and a few other people. It became big news. Some people argue that Trump knew who Fuentes was. Ben Shapiro had tweeted, maybe if you don't want to dine with an anti-Semite, don't invite, if you don't want to dine with an anti-Semite you don't know, don't invite the one you do. So I got questions.
I don't
When
really
did
think,
Donald-
do we really think Kanye is an anti-Semite just for pointing out that Jews run Hollywood and banks? Is that really like such a crazy take? Or there happen to be a lot of them? I don't think that's an anti-Semitic opinion.
Trump invite Ye? Why? Why didn't he cancel? If there's so much here. And so I said, when the opportunity arose, hey, we could have these guys on. I said, sure. Now let me tell you something. A lot of people are saying, oh, Tim wanted a high profile interview to get a bunch of press attention. No, absolutely not. I reject that 100%.
He doesn't need that. He gets press on his own over almost nothing. Like he's trending on Twitter. It feels like every month for something. So it's like, yeah, he doesn't need Kanye and Milo and Nick to trend.
Are typically not the extremely high profile people. We do a lot of DC commentators. It is a topical news show, not a Rogan style interview show. This was specifically because the big story is
Was the dinner.
Trump and this dinner. So why did Ye start talking about this? Well, some people have said Tim opens with an article from The Hill where Pence called him an anti-Semite and thought he wasn't going to get into it.
Mm.
They knew what article we had pulled up to launch the show.
Okay.
Ye addressed the issue before we even got started. Now, I wish we recorded the pre-show. Sometimes I say maybe
yeah.
we should, but the problem is we're setting up cameras, we're adjusting lighting.
And yeah, well, you don't. What if someone says it's like private information? What if it feels like, oh, the cameras are on you? You're not going to be as real or as ask the type of questions you want to ask. Maybe they record the pre-show and then they have it for members. Maybe.
Some people are doing makeup, rarely, but some people want to put on makeup. We're getting drinks. We're discussing what they think the big topic is going to be, and I say, hey guys, let's save the conversation for the show. Let me pull up articles. Let's just get everything set up. In the pre-show, Pence asked, I said, here's the article that I think we can lead with because Trump is being dragged over this dinner with Fuentes specifically, but also Ye's involvement. They knew.
You have to just let it go off
And
the
they were like,
rails.
yeah. And here's the funny thing.
True.
During the pre-show, when Ye would be talking, I'll be going like this, and I would put up a finger. This is what I normally do when people are talking. If I need to change the subject, advance to a new segment,
Okay.
or just there's an issue. Like people are like, Tim interrupts. Look, guys, if you watch when we do the split view thing, you'll often see me put my hand up. Like I'm just saying, like, hey, I'm gonna try and get in.
Okay.
I'm trying to be a conductor of this show. You know what I mean? I want everybody to talk, and preferably they all just talk, and I don't got to say anything. But I do have to say,
He does have to steer the ship. Yeah, it is his show.
Time for segment, for topic, in response to audience questions. I'm going to try and move things along, or I'm going to say something. In the pre-show, Ye's talking, and then I'm listening, and I'm like, okay, and then I put my hand up.
Sweating?
As soon as I put my
Does this happen to you guys too? Like when you stream or just like sit at maybe your desk at work? Like, is it normal to sweat so much? Okay, don't get distracted, Chrissy. Nobody cares about your sweating problem.
hand up, he would immediately stop and go, you want to say something? And then I would say, yeah, we'll finish your idea. I just want, like my intention is not to put my hand up to stop you. And so I actually outlined this before the show. I said, just so you know, guys, I want you to be able to talk about what's going on.
So the hand
If I
means
put my
finish your
hand up,
point.
just know that I'm getting ready to say something. I want to interject.
Okay.
I don't, it's to avoid everybody screaming over each other. I may need to bring
That's
something
reasonable.
up. I may need to push back on something. Quite literally, I told them, you cannot just come on here and say these things without expecting pushback.
Right.
And if you do, I will put up my hand and I'm going to push back. And they said, yeah, of course. I don't know if Milo planned this. Milo insists he did not. According to staff members that were on the property,
Yeah, but are you really
they
going
said
to
that he
believe
genuinely
Milo?
looked bummed that things were falling apart this way. And, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't know. I wonder if Ye planned this because additionally, we have people here who are fans of Ye. I would say not fans of the recent history of Ye, but like his music going back.
Yeah.
And what's been expressed to me is that he does this thing where he has this bomb fame period and then comes right back. Maybe it's not this time. Maybe this is part of his personality. He's only lucky.
I don't know. I've never known him to like bomb like this before. Like he's never been canceled from within Hollywood like how he has been recently. I mean, have people ever dropped working with him before?
To have come back. Maybe this was planned. Then I'll tell you. And I want to read some of these articles and show you how hilarious the media is being, and then talk about maybe Milo's revenge, and I'll give you some context there.
I don't know. I feel like it's hard to be in Tim's position. People are going to constantly shit on you no matter what, just because of how big you are.
Before the show, we had this article, and I said, I guess the big news right now, and I think Ye even pointed this out to me. The big news, of course, that Pence is denouncing Trump. Pence came out and said Trump shouldn't have done this. He should apologize. And Ye said something like, so what happened though? Like Pence betrayed Trump or something? Very calm. And Fuentes said, well, it's because there is this very loose, I forgot what he said, but I'll paraphrase, albeit like silly idea that Pence could have rejected the results in 2020 or something like that.
People did think that. I don't know why they put their faith in Pence. That's why everyone got upset at January 6th. They were like, "You're not doing shit, Pence."
And it was like, yeah, okay. When we started the show, but before the show, I was like, guys, I know you have these views. You've debated them. I'm not a fan, obviously. If you
Right.
want to bring them up, I am going. I said, look, who
I'm
am I
going to
kidding?
challenge you.
You're going to bring them up. I'm going to push back. I'm not going to
Okay.
let you just say these things. And okay, of course.
And he said that.
And Milo was like, but this is about what the plan is. It's about a potential candidacy. And I said, okay.
And they didn't even get to
We
that.
know what their views are.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened at this dinner. We don't know how they ended up there with Trump. And it is sinking Trump world, according to a lot of people. I thought this is
It
Milo's
sounded
event.
like they just asked and they just happened to bring Fuentes along. And Trump didn't really, I guess, look into it. Didn't really know who he was.
And the reason why he wants to come on this show is because he's going to put these people in front of the world and say, this is who Trump was having dinner with.
Right.
And then maybe it didn't go according to plan, or maybe it did.
Oh, look, they're not so bad.
So when the show starts, and immediately...
Or they try and got it. Was this all orchestrated to somehow make Tim look bad? I don't know.
He's just like, I want to talk about anti-Semitism and what it means and all that. And I said, so you want to just go right into it? Fine. I'm like, they're nuking the show. Because...
Oh, okay. I'm seeing some very interesting comments here in the chat. From Space or Aulian. Milo very obviously sussed out Tim's crew. Tim and the crew's nature on his last appearance and most likely filled Kanye in beforehand, hence him never taking his jacket off, being ready to leave. Ooh, yeah, I don't like that he didn't take the jacket off. Maybe he's one of these jacket people, though. Maybe he spilled on his shirt. Maybe like I do a lot, I'll go to a rest stop, get my coffee, and then I immediately spill it on myself. I mean, Milo's also wearing sunglasses inside. Like Corey Hart. I wear my sunglasses at night. You think no matter what, this is bad luck for him? I don't know. I still think it's I think ultimately all press is good press. So it's ultimately more press for Tim. I don't think it makes him look particularly bad. Yeah, this is a big cancel. They're definitely trying to deperson Kanye right now. Not just dropped working with him, froze his banks, trying to get him for taxes, lock him up. Chrissy, think Tim is big that he will get shat on. What about Kanye? Yeah, they're really trying to ruin him right now. And I think if Kanye is just trying to figure out who he can trust, who he can work with, who is on Trump's staff, seems like a major overlook. Yeah, I think the algorithm is pushing him. He's growing awfully fast. Oh, meaning Tim? I mean, he had 95,000 people watching live last night. And on a typical night, what is it, like between 40 and 60? Phone Punk thinks that Tim's success is by denying covering topics that would get him in trouble with his employers at YouTube. Well, how do you really know what he really thinks versus what he's trying to stay away from because of YouTube? How can anyone really know that? I guess if you watch him all the time and you watch, I guess the way to get to know him would be to watch the after show that they don't put on YouTube. It just stays on the members chat. The classic missed the mouth sip. Did I do that? Oh, yeah. At the rest stop. Imagine taking Kanye's side. It feels like people are pretty split about this. Okay. Let's see. What else?
Like, Ye acting like he said during the show, he threatened to walk if it was another Lex Fridman kind of thing. I'm like, bro, you are doing this. So I think Ye may have planned it. Not surprised.
He's mad.
He apparently was laughing and smiling on the way out. And
He's
I wonder
really
if he planned the whole
annoyed.
thing. Grabbed a bunch of Luke's cookies and took.
He's probably like, what the fuck? I prepared them. I gave him a heads up. Yeah, he probably felt like I prepared them the best I could, and this still happened. That is very frustrating.
Off, and he said something like, I came what I did to do. I don't know exactly what he said. I was told by our security guys that as he's leaving, he said, I came what I did to do, did the show, conquered it, and ruined
What?
Tim Pool or something like that.
What?
Maybe he said ruined the show. I don't know.
Oh,
Whatever his plan was. Before the show, I was telling him, like, I said outright, you talk about Jewish
conquered.
people.
I don't like the idea. Oh, I can't. Maybe this is a man thing or like a male ego thing. Like, oh, I owned him. I conquered the show. I just like, oh, men.
How does that explain me? And he goes, God's on our side. I'm like, what? That's meaningless. There's a bunch of people in media who are not Jewish. And the example that goes right top of my head, because I worked for them, I know, is Vice. Shane Smith, Irish Canadian guy. I'm not trying to drag Shane. That's the example I have at the top of my head. There are
Right,
many
he's not
other
trying to
people.
say all people, but many of the people that he worked with are. I don't think Kanye ever said all people in media are.
In media who are not Jewish. Okay. I said, how do you explain? He's got a woke, Vice goes woke totally. And that was completely under Shane's control, an Irish dude who became a billionaire. Ain't nobody holding you back. You became a billionaire. You've got specific people. I said this before the show, and Ye was like, whatever. And then as soon as the show goes live, all of a sudden he's like, oh man, I'm so out. I'm not going to do this. Some people were like, Tim should have just let him speak. I asked him about the dinner, and it was, I knew what was going on right when the show started.
Really?
Before the show, it's lively conversation.
And the
show
tone
starts,
changed?
and then it's quiet. And I said, so
Ooh.
what happened with this dinner? And, it's very, very quiet, the audio. And then you'll notice at the
Could they
beginning,
have
I'm
been
like,
nervous?
I motioned to Serge, which you probably didn't see on camera. And then Ye goes, oh, was that? And then I was like, I'm just telling him to turn the volume up. Because all of a sudden they got quiet. We do the audio beforehand. We
Could it be that they
normalize
got
their audio
nervous 'cause
beforehand.
they were on
Show goes
air?
live, they quiet down. Real quiet. It's just talking like this. And then I'm like, okay, crank the volume up. I kind of think it was on purpose.
He's
And I
frustrated.
wonder if it was Ye who did it, because you got to think about what he's doing right now. Okay. Donald Trump invited Ye to dinner. Let me pull this up. Joel Pollack on Twitter says, fascinating from Timcast. Ye says dinner with Trump was scheduled before the DEFCON tweet, postponed after midterms. Ye says Milo reached out to him after the tweet. I am dedicating the rest of my life to the destruction of the Republican Party.
Damn.
Motive much? Yeah.
Oh, he's so upset.
I'll say that.
Oh, is he wearing the same
I've
shirt?
got
Oh.
leftist media outlets being
I
like,
wonder if he's got
Tim
a lot of
Pool
copies
offered
of
up
the
a
same
friendly
shirt.
chat to anti-Semites and then was forced to push back. What does that mean? Like, what? Yo, I love the identitarian left and right. You've got the identitarian
That's
right
frustrating.
saying that I wouldn't let Ye just explain who they were or what.
Okay. He's in a tricky spot. Not envious of him right now. I don't know if I would have done much better under those circumstances, dealing with those just three big personalities, and you don't want to feel like, oh, I'm gonna step on it. I don't want to tiptoe. Tim never slept. You need a woman to notice that. Okay. Yeah, I bet. It's still kind of exciting. Ultimately, I feel like this is not going to hurt Tim. It's ultimately more press. I feel like it's probably a net negative for Kanye and a net positive for Tim. Okay. We got some super chats from Ghost Crusaders. I'm not a Tim super fan, but what was he supposed to do? He pushed back like only 3 times. Ye could make a video talking about all this himself if he didn't want pushback. Good point. Right. You have to and that's the thing. It's like you're dealing with all high level people. Could Kanye have understood Tim better and done a little more research about him? Absolutely. I feel like Tim understood Kanye, and it's in Tim's nature to push back. I think it's in Tim's nature to be like, no, I'm letting it be known, like, I don't agree with this. And I want to differentiate between, like, I understand what he was doing. I just think it was maybe too many alphas in a room. I don't know. it's hard for me, like, because as a chick and like a girl interviewer, I don't even know. I just always I find that my opinions a lot of time take a back seat. Like I don't feel the urge to clarify my guest on what I think because I can say that later on or on a different broadcast. I am probably more on the side of like, yeah, let the person talk and just steer them instead of like I'm not looking to debate at every point. That's not really like my nature. I don't really like enjoy um debating. I'm not good at that. So but right, it wasn't a ton of pushback. It was a little bit. And he wasn't being rude about it. So yeah, he could have been more specific. Hostile bogey for 5. Kanye's personal trainer is also the trainer for Lizzo. Let that sink in. Clearly, Lizzo needs more trainers because she's still like 500 pounds. Oh, but like trainer, like celebrity trainer, like handler. Yikes. They probably got to put her medicine in with a friggin' trank gun. Ah, wow. It's crazy. I wanna hear more about that world, like the inner workings of celebrity. James Noel, the Timcast IRL crew cannot help themselves. They constantly interrupt people, and it isn't really a conversation sometimes. Maybe you get excited, maybe it's nerves, maybe it's anxiety. Everybody handles it different. There's no way you can't tell me everybody in that room wasn't anxious doing that show last night. And, people may not make the best decisions when they're anxious. But again, like, yeah, it seemed like Kanye needs a little bit of handling. Like, he needs somebody, like, kind of petting him and being like, "It's okay. No one's attacking you. But it is in your best interest to stay here and talk." What's up, Matthew Hammond? Tim and crew needed to do a better job of explaining the format of the show and how to settle disputes if people start talking over each other. He also needs to have articles that are tailored to a guest. Right. Maybe don't start out with something that says like Kanye and anti-Semite in the same thing. But again, like we did not need an article. Like everyone knows they all went out to dinner. Everyone knows how the mainstream media is spinning it. What are they doing? They're scratching the quilt. Why are they digging? What are you digging for? Everyone knows how the dinner was spun, but you can't stop someone from walking off either, I guess. Especially someone who's like dealing with a lot of not wanting to be controlled. Elsa Bear for 10. CIA has used drugs to make public figures seem crazy so no one would take them seriously. Tried LSD with Castro in the 60s. Check out the guy who went viral trying to go after Coney. Wow, that's wild. Glenn Quagg for 5. I like Adam, but he has TDS. TMDS. Tim addressed the whole black vote thing versus blaming all Jews' differences. Yeah, I would say that's true. Default name for 5. Tim needs to study some old Johnny Carson and learn how to own the critical moments by saying little. Own the crucial. I can't read. Own the critical moments by saying little. Our James Tim was in a no-win situation. He's called a bigot for not calling out Ye and a failure for doing so. Tim has many faults but handled this well enough. I agree. I think this was a very tough situation. And there's a lot of personalities, kind of a lot of you don't want to tiptoe and lose yourself completely. And he did prep them. So what the fuck? That is frustrating. Happy Plague Doctor for 2. Tim's had a stuffy nose for 3 years now. Default name, Tim blows potential 250K live viewers. Blames it on Milo for orchestrating a gimmick to get back at Trump or something. I think he's just trying to figure out what went wrong. He's someone who very much cares about his show. He thinks deeply about these things. He's probably just going over and over in his head, like, at what point did this go wrong? What led up to this? How did this happen? I don't think he's trying to like not take any responsibility for what happened. I think he was himself and prepped them as best he could. Okay, Matthew Hammond for 5. Adam needs to forgive Tim and move on with what he is doing. Tim had a bunch of people in his ear and wanted to move in a different direction after COVID. I do agree with you on the fact that Adam needs to forgive Tim and move on, just for his own mental well-being. You know, you don't want to obsess too much about something that's in the past and that's not going to change. I would say either forgive and stop talking about it, or make an effort to make amends. Because at this point, like, he said everything he's going to say on the subject. There's no point in reiterating. There's no point in like going on other streams and making the same points. It's like, okay, it's all out there. Matthew Hammond, the mistake was not having Ian Crossland on the podcast. It could have been interpreted that Tim and Luke were ganging up on Ye. Oh, did you feel like that was the case? I like Ian. Ian is definitely a soft, soothing presence. He seems like an empath. And I feel like him and Kanye would have honestly like really, really vibed. Wow. Fun times, guys. Fun, 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 fun. Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Come and get it. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.